Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program will resume shortly. Please welcome back to the stage Carrie Pena and Brandon Lee.
We hope everyone is having such a nice lunch, and I would ask you to join us in giving a round of applause for the beautiful servers here who work so hard and always do such a great job. They are always so kind. I feel like they feel bad for me every time I am seeing an event. They're like, "Do you need coffee? Do you need coffee?" I'm like, "Yes, please. Thank you guys so much." So can we please have representatives from AZ Big Media, Cox Communications, One AZ Credit Union, and Full Swing Studios at the Step and Repeat. Hopefully you've had time to have your lunch and you can go over there and take a beautiful photo. And while those folks are getting settled, please join me in thanking this year's Unity Champions for their investment in One Community's programs and events. Thank you all so much. The One Community Unity Champions. And now on with our program. As the chair of the Greater Phoenix Equality Chamber of Commerce, Michael Mazzoco's commitment to equality and fairness led to the Equality Chamber becoming a coalition partner. But he didn't stop there. Being the connector that he is, his introductions led to regional LGBTQ plus chambers from 8 states around the nation signing on to the Equality and Fairness Coalition as well. Let's put a spotlight now on Michael Mazzoco.
I became an advocate for the LGBTQ community because obviously I am LGBTQ, or maybe not obviously, but Becoming an advocate for this community was like anybody else. I was bullied and had a lot of trauma coming out as a child, and I wanted to make sure that no other child had to go through that, no other adult had to go through that. I wanted to make sure that spaces were safe for everyone to do business, to work, to be who they wanted to be. And so it's important that we all remember where we came from and where we're going and try to change that. Inclusivity is actually the backbone of the Equality Chamber and one community, because the LGBTQ community is wide and varied. We come in all shapes and sizes and colors and nationalities, and it's a glamorous and glorious community, and we love that we can include everybody. The Equality Chamber had to sign the Unity Pledge, not because we had to, because we wanted to, and we wanted to be leaders in the community. And to me, the Unity Pledge is saying, I see you and I hear you. And that's what equality and equity and inclusion and diversity is all about. It's about being seen and heard. And so being at the forefront of that was a very important step for us. The Equality Chamber joined the Equality and Fairness for All Coalition because we wanted to make sure that these laws that govern our country are by the people and for the people. And that's most important, that it is a bipartisan framework, because we are in very uncertain times. When I got the email that I had gotten this award, it was incredibly humbling and honored. I was incredibly honored, but there's still a lot more work to do. If we all come together and make this reality, we can make it happen, but it's going to take all of us working together. LGBTQ Americans cannot wait. Our lives are literally on the line.
Congratulations, Michael. And might I say, not enough gentlemen understand the pocket hanky and the power of that. It looks so beautiful. Well done.
Thanks. Is that a read? I think she just read me a little bit there. Lauren Bailey's personal experiences have shown her the true devastating impact of discrimination. As an actionable ally, Lauren leads Upward Projects with her heart and her unwavering commitment to inclusion for everyone. Upward Projects is a go-to partner for one community as they consistently show up and lead the way in socially responsible business advocacy. Let's put a spotlight today on local hero, Lauren Bailey.
I support the queer community and equality because I grew up in Indiana. I had an older sister. We went to a high school that was not diverse, and there wasn't any kind of awareness about any way of living life other than a man marrying a woman and a certain way of families and a certain way of being. And over time, her struggles and her truth was not able to be out, and the subsequent effect on her life and ultimately her death was because she wasn't able to be her true self, and that weighs on me every day. And I will go to my last breath trying to make everyone feel that there's a space for them. I got into the restaurant business because it's everything I love about life. It's people, it's design, it's community, and most of all, it's bringing together people to have meaningful experiences. And we signed the Unity Pledge because from day one, we knew for our company, equality matters. And we knew taking a risk, taking a stand is something that we sign up for every day by being an ally and having the privilege that we do, to have the voice that we have, to have the platform that we have. And I believe wholeheartedly that our path in life is to create this space for everyone to be welcome everywhere. Equality for everyone is no longer a political agenda item. This is about humanity, and this is about freedom, and this is about something for everyone all the time. Winning this award is wonderful, but for me, this is not about what we have done, it's about what we are about to do. We have never needed more than today to stand up, to speak louder, to raise our hands higher, and show up in a big way for the people that need it the most. Equality is for everyone.
I I love what she said. I love what she said in that video, Lauren. It's not what we've done, it's about what we are going to do, because that's the way we need to think forward with that. So congratulations today.
And now, please join me in welcoming PetSmart's Vice President of Loss Prevention and Safety and One Community Multicultural Advisory Board member, Meredith Plaxo, to announce the recipient of the 2022 Unity Agent Award.
Just make a little adjustment. That was also a joke. Thank you, Carrie and Brandon. Good afternoon, everyone. They introduced me, and I would add not only a multicultural advisory board member, but truly it is the most amazing MAB, as Angela has indoctrinated me. I have a question first before I introduce this award and the recipient. Who believes in unconditional love? Right? So PetSmart is in the love business, right? So we are so grateful and gracious for the opportunity to continue to sponsor One Community and get to present this award. So without further ado, I wanted to thank you all, of course, for joining us today for this incredible celebration of equity and equality and what makes Arizona great and building on that. And as an Arizona-based company, PetSmart is proud of our local heritage and even more proud to support organizations that bring this vibrant community truly together. Creating a culture of belonging for associates is ingrained in everything we do at PetSmart. We hold ourselves accountable, and it makes us a stronger company. At PetSmart, we are committed to equality and equity for everyone, and we are proud to lead on the important dialogue about diversity, inclusion, and equity in the workplace in Arizona and beyond across the country. That is why we are honored to present the Unity Agent Award today. Unity agents lead by doing what's right. They follow their hearts, no matter the obstacle and no matter the personal cost, in order to make the world a little bit better for all of us. Now more than ever, we need leaders with heart. We need leaders who inspire, leaders who have bold and audacious ideas and work to unite our community. Leaders who call upon all of us to be better and do more to help our community and ourselves grow stronger together. In a time that demands servant leadership, courage, conviction, a bold vision, and dedication to doing the right thing, simply doing the right thing, we could think of no better person to honor this year than Local First Arizona's founder and CEO, Kimber Lanning. Kimber's boundless energy, passion, and life's work has impacted so many of us in this room and across our state and nation. Thank you, Kimber, for all you do to make us better together.
I was born on Okinawa. For those who don't know, it's a small island off the coast of Japan. There's a big U.S. Air Force base there. My father was in the military and did 3 tours of duty in Vietnam. And we got transferred to Luke Air Force Base. And so my family landed here in 1968. I would say my mother is a huge influence on me. A lot of people tell their kids, make sure you follow the rules. And my mom would holler down the street, just remember, Kimber, nobody can ever make you do anything. So, as a kindergartner, when you're hearing that, you start going, yeah, I'm a thinker, you know what I mean? And the teachers were like, oh, I was always raising my hand, asking the difficult questions, the logical questions though. And my mom was always right there encouraging me to push and to ask why. Why are we doing it this way? And why not this way? And how about if I have a better idea? She just encouraged me to think. I do remember a heightened sense of accountability from a very young age. You know, I staged my first protest when I was in 6th grade, and it was over my best friend who was, she actually wasn't even my best friend. She was a friend who was very smart, and she was a straight A student. She was very clumsy and uncoordinated. In PE, she got a C. She was always the last one to be picked, and that kept her off the honor roll. And I thought that was outrageous that she can't be on the honor roll because she's uncoordinated. And so I got a whole bunch of kids together and we changed the rules. I got my first job, which was at Zia Records when I was very young, and I was a fantastic employee. I was just an idea person, and I would implement it. So when the manager was leaving and I asked to become manager, he actually laughed and said, "No one will ever listen to a 100-pound woman," right? And so I set about opening my own store and opened Stinkweeds when I was 19. So I started small. The day I opened, you know, in 1987, CDs were still somewhat new. I opened with 16 CDs and about, I don't know, maybe $8,000 in inventory and my own used record collection. And people said, "That's crazy, that you're not gonna make it." And I worked all day, every day, and invested every dollar that came in. And it turns out people really want to support the underdog. And so if people would special order something that they could have gone down the street and bought it at Tower Records, they would wait for me to get it in because they cared and they wanted me to make it, and I did. I used the walls in Stinkweeds to do art exhibitions. So we had a different artist showing their work on the walls in Stinkweeds, and it got to be where I was booked out a year and a half in advance. So that told me that there weren't enough places for young artists to show their work. We had bands in Stinkweeds. We had a little stage in the corner, and so we had live music in the store on a regular basis. At that time, there were not that many booking agents that were booking really popular bands. Bands we were selling very well in the store couldn't get a show in Phoenix. And I became sort of competitive, and I would see these bands, they would go from LA to Albuquerque, and I was like, "Not on my watch. You know, you're skipping Arizona entirely and going to Albuquerque. We will not be beat by Albuquerque." And so I started calling these agencies and booking shows in Stinkweeds. That got to be 3 to 5 shows a week. And so the idea became opening up an artist space that was community driven, that provided an opportunity for people to develop their careers here with a strategy of retaining bright young creatives. For years at Stinkweeds, I would say goodbye to so many of my best customers who would graduate either from high school or from college and move away to build their career somewhere else. And that was devastating to me. I always loved this place, and I wanted them to stay here and help me make it better. So I became fixated on how do I get more of these people to put their roots here and connect to this place the way I feel connected. And I've always tried to approach it as, I'm accountable to this community. What can I do to make it better? Can I provide a platform for other voices? How can we encourage other business owners to also take a role in leadership? It's funny that most people will say, "How did you get from having a record store to what you're doing today?" But to me, it's obvious, you know, I was on the luge, right? It was like a straight shot because Stinkweeds and Modified Arts are, at their core, they're placemaking entities, right? We are creating culture, we are creating a sense of place. And so with Local First, I wanted to create a voice for small businesses and also put us in the forefront of economic development for the state's initiative. For youth retention, right? If we want to build hometown pride, that's going to keep more people in this place. At that time, people were leaving in droves saying, "I'm leaving, it has no culture here, we have no soul." And I was like, "Oh, you just wait. We're going to have culture and soul. I see it. We're going to bring it out and begin to showcase that." The person who helped start Local First Arizona was Cindy Dash from Changing Hands Bookstore. The original economic study that was done in Austin, Texas in 2002, ironically, was looking at the economy through the lens of a bookstore and a record store in Austin that were operating on a street where the city of Austin incentivized aborters to move in across the street from the two independents. So I was so intrigued with this study that Cindy and I got on a plane and flew to Austin together as the owner of a record store and a bookstore to meet with them, learn about the study, and the study proved that locally owned businesses keep 3 times more money recirculating in the local economy because the local businesses hire local graphic designers and website developers, payroll service providers, and others, and the local chain or a corporate chain doesn't do that. So we came home and started Local First Arizona. Local First Arizona is a statewide nonprofit organization that is working to build a more diverse and inclusive Arizona economy. So the words diversity and inclusivity are everywhere, but that's been our mission for more than a decade. And so what we mean by that is giving everyone an opportunity to participate in the economy and to grow small business, grow entrepreneurship, and ensure that we're keeping dollars and jobs right here in Arizona. I feel that it's important to make sure that different perspectives are represented, and certainly that there's equity and equality around how our communities are structured, right? If certain people have rights and other people don't, that doesn't make logical sense to me. One of the things that stands out to me as a very vivid memory was early in Stinkweeds. I was alone in the store, and there were 2 women in the store, and I was just doing some paperwork, and I looked up, and they were holding hands. And my immediate response was one of pride. And the reason I felt proud is because I realized that I had succeeded in creating a safe place. That the year was 1988, and these 2 women felt comfortable showing physical affection in my store was a major accomplishment to me. One Community and Local First Arizona are natural allies as organizations. We are driving the culture and the face of inclusivity in Arizona from a diverse economy perspective, and the work that One Community does, it has transformed the state. And I think the 2 organizations are perfectly designed to work together. But beyond that, on a personal level, I think Kimber and Angela together are unstoppable. I feel that we're strategic together, we are fiery, we are relentless. We have characteristics that are very similar in terms of accountability to our communities and to each other. And I think it's critical to recognize the audacity that we both have to think that we can make a difference. Local First was the first organization to sign the Unity Pledge. Well, it was a no-brainer, first of all. It's small businesses coming together, well, all businesses really coming together to build an inclusive Arizona. That is what we do. So it's a no-brainer for me. And the Unity Pledge is all about building a stronger Arizona economy. So I didn't even think about our place in history as being the first organization to sign. It was really just that both Angela and I happened to be working on a Sunday morning at 6 o'clock, and I got the email, and I distinctly remember printing it out, signing it, and scanning it back to her, and she was like, wow, that was fast. And I always joke, well, it's, early bird gets the worm. I think what sets us apart at Local First Arizona is our willingness to step up for what's right, even if we're concerned that people may misunderstand. One of my favorites was when a gentleman, after 1062, he said, "You don't speak for me." And I said, You're damn right I don't. Here's your refund. He was a member, and he was outraged that we were simply defending inclusion. And I thought, okay, I don't represent your values, and you don't represent mine, so let's part ways. However, I did try to have that conversation with him. I will always try to have that conversation. Local First Arizona and one community have partnered on the Your Vote is Your Voice campaign, which is reaching far and wide to get the deep faces, the deep communities across Arizona, to elevate those voices, to make sure that they know they have a stake. I speak out on inclusivity issues because they matter for the future of Arizona. That Arizona is not successful economically or culturally if we're not truly inclusive. And I'm accountable to the people in my community. I'm accountable for building a better Arizona. And you don't get there by staying silent. Arizona's at a crossroads. And it's funny because anybody that's known me for the last 25 years will say, you've said that before. I really mean it. I do not want to wake up a little old lady and realize this place wasn't worth fighting for. And right now is the fight of our lifetimes, but we have to show up.
Kimber is a total rock star. Congratulations, my friend. Oh, you know Ange is coming up soon because they brought the little prop back up. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, just a huge round of applause for your 2022 Spotlight on Success Local Heroes.
And now it is my pleasure to introduce the 2021 local hero, Michael Soto, and last year's Unity agent, the mayor of Mesa, John Giles. And Mr. Mayor, if I may just say so, I tried to sing your praises and I realized you were not here earlier, but I just want to repeat a few of those praises so you can hear it in person. On behalf of the LGBTQ plus community, and I'm a member of that as well. I know that you representative in the East Valley, a fairly conservative community. And I cannot thank you enough personally from my heart to have somebody like you be a voice for us to help open up the minds and the hearts of the families that you represent, represent to include us going forward in the East Valley. So a personal thank you.
Okay, good call. Whoa. Okay. This is a first. This has never happened before.
That's great. Well, you're not supposed to start crying before you talk, are you? That was a dirty trick to pull. Thank you. Well, good afternoon. I am the proud mayor of Mesa, Arizona, and I'm proud to say that my city is one of the 10 cities in Arizona that is an LGBTQ inclusive community, and we're very proud of that ordinance. Mesa, we do believe, is truly welcoming and open for business for everyone.
And I'm Michael Soto. I'm Michael Soto, and I am One Community's Chief Advocacy Officer. Thank you. I'm so proud to be a part of this amazing team. I am a proud trans man and LGBTQ advocate, and the mayor is a conservative Republican elected official and member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. At first glance, you may not think that the mayor and I are friends, or could be friends, but that's the magic of the work that we do here at One Community. building bridges and bringing our community together, focusing on what unites us and not what divides us to create a stronger Arizona.
Amen, Michael. Michael and Angela and I have formed a bond over our common belief that inclusion and equal rights are universal values, central to the beliefs of all Arizonans, faith communities, and to good business practices. We, like all of you here today, believe we all deserve to be treated with dignity and respect without exception. And inclusive policies like the one we passed in Mesa are an important step in building a stronger Arizona.
Championed by Mayor Giles and his vision in an inclusive Mesa, the Mesa Ordinance was the result of many years of hard work. Mayor Giles, Angela, and I knew we couldn't pass the ordinance alone, and that we needed to work to build bridges across the community, engaging businesses and community leaders, faith groups and leaders, and everyday Arizonans to build the coalition of support that we would need for that ordinance. Some folks were with us right away, and some folks took a little bit longer. But if working with Angela has taught us anything, and trust me, it's taught us a whole lot, it is important to meet people where they're at. A willingness to listen and a willingness to walk alongside folks in their journey is key.
In the fight for equality, Angela never has, and I'm sure she never will, give up. Even at times when the road to our ordinance felt rocky, or it felt like we were caught in an epic Arizona haboob, Angela never gave in. She brought her can-do attitude, strategic mind, and smile to every meeting, every coffee, and every event, and slowly but surely, we brought our diverse community together around the central values of equality, respect, and the fundamental right of fairness, and we passed our ordinance with overwhelming support. Passing the inclusive non-discrimination ordinance in Mesa was one of my proudest accomplishments as mayor. I've seen its impact on our community firsthand, on our families, students, houses of worship, and businesses. Everyone who lives and works in Mesa knows that they will be treated fairly, equal, and have the same opportunities no matter who they are or who they love. It's my sincere hope that our work in Mesa continues to be an example of what is possible when we listen, we learn, and we build bridges towards one another. I am so personally grateful. Sorry, that my city council is laughing at me right now. And I have to say, off script, we were chatting as a council a moment ago, saying, isn't it nice to be in this room? This feels like a convention of nice people. Particularly in the context that we're in now, you know, with all of the negativity going on, isn't it wonderful to have people like Kimber and wonderful stories to tell and to celebrate positivity, not just in Mesa, but throughout Arizona and in our community. And again, Michael and Angela are so responsible for this amazing event and all the good things that have provoked it. So again, we are grateful for the journey that we've been on and for the lifetime friendships and allies that we've created with each other.
And thank you, Mayor Giles, for your leadership and mentorship and your friendship, and just for being the most incredible advocate and ally. I think you've earned the respect of every single person in this room over and over again, and we all love you. That is everything, yes. You know, no matter the hardship or the difficult path, the mayor has chosen to build bridges, and I know Angela and I deeply respect and love him for that. And Angela, thank you for being you. You are one of my truly favorite people, and it is an honor to get to work with you every day. Thank you so much for being a light in the dark, for your tenacity, your spirit, and your audacious big ideas. Everyone knows she has them. Yep. It's an honor to work alongside you as we blaze the path forward to ensure equal protections for all Arizonans and all Americans.
And so now please join us in welcoming our friend and One Community President and co-founder, Angela Huey.
So our team just got a little jealous that I had my own step, and as you can see, it's no longer my own. There's 3 of us that use they're using the step. We were joking when we were talking about Mayor Giles and Michael speaking, and we said, Mayor Giles could get up here and say, I thought One Community doesn't discriminate, but like you seem to really like people that can't see over the podium. So anyway, we are inclusive of all people of all heights at One Community. And thank you, John and Michael, and I'm just incredibly grateful for our friendship and your leadership and your trust. And I am, you're not supposed to make me cry. I'm so grateful to be on this journey with both of you. And Michael, we are, to say overjoyed is an understatement, but we are so overjoyed to have you join One Community as our Chief Advocacy Officer. And can everyone just welcome him the One Community way? Carrie and Brandon, I don't think Spotlight would ever be the same if we didn't have the 2 of you leading us. So thank you both for always leading with your hearts. And can we give Carrie and Brandon a warm, warm applause? And to our amazing One Community team, Janine is not here with us today. We are sending her very healing thoughts. She was a little under the weather, but she is, I told her this morning, all over this room. She is in these videos. She is in this script. She is ever present, and we are so grateful for all that Janine does for One Community. To our friends and partners, and the reality is our family at Perry Consulting, Nick Bennett has been with Sherry and I in One Community since before we had One Community. We literally grew up together, as did Kimber and I, as did Kim and I. It's pretty funny. And we're all Gen X, and I just want to say, Gen X, shout out to Gen X. It took us a little while to get out of the gate. We're known as the lost generation. I don't know, Gen X, I think we're showing up. Heather at Cultural Sponge, thank you for always making this look so good. Bea and Sophie, honest to goodness, I could not ask for just better partners. You keep us in the lane we need to be in and ensure we don't get in too much trouble. And Darby Vance, how about these videos, right? So we believe in Darby and his talent so much and just his passion and just skill at storytelling, that I have a big announcement. We're very proud to announce that we've invested, One Community has invested in Darby and in Full Swing, and today we are announcing the next chapter of Full Swing Studios, because we want to make sure that every business and every organization, no matter their shape, their size, or their budget, has the power to tell their stories. And we believe in Darby and his talents to help all of us in Arizona tell all of our stories. So we're so excited to partner with you, Darbs. To my remarkable partner, I would say the smarter of the duo, Sherry, we are 29 years in February. We will have been on this journey together. It has had hills and valleys, and it has been remarkable, and you teach me every day. I am so incredibly grateful for you, and to be almost 29 years into this remarkable journey with you, and to say that we are like literally having the time of our life. And I am more in love with you and who you are today than the moment I met you. I'm just grateful. To our remarkable local heroes, a heartfelt thank you from all of us. Thank you for your courage to tell your stories, even at great cost. Your sheer determination to make big, bold ideas a reality, creating meaningful change and inspiring others by your example. Together, we are making a difference. We really are. Together, we're creating the path forward for this great state. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, our path is not a red or blue path. It's not even a purple path. It's Arizona's path. It's our path.
And as we continue on our journey towards a state that celebrates, respects, and protects us all equally, we promise to lead with our hearts, be brave and bold, and continue to meet people where they are at. We promise to have the courage and commitment to run towards the difficult conversations and to never turn our back simply because we disagree with someone. We also promise to remember that when we are generous and kind and concentrate on our shared humanity, we can overcome any challenge we face. 2022 has brought change and hope. It has brought new friends and partnerships. It has brought big, bold, audacious ideas. And it has brought all of us together again today. And I know that the last few years have presented us with some heavy headwinds, but we have never given up and we have never backed down. And as we look towards what lies ahead, no matter what the future holds, we won't start now. Our work has taught us that we are stronger together, that we can build a bridge across any divide, that we are better when we focus on what we have in common and the ties that bind us rather than what divides us. Our work in 2021, passing the non-discrimination ordinance in Mesa and Scottsdale and Glendale, provided us a winning blueprint for 2022. A blueprint that LGBTQ people, people of faith, business leaders, law enforcement, and community leaders could all support. Because our leaders recognize that equal treatment is not just the right thing to do, it's what we must do to create a sustainable future for all of us. You can applaud to that. Don't be shy. It's perfect because I was supposed to pause there, so I feel like that was really well placed. Thank you. We were clearly very smart to partner with Darby. I'm reminded that One Community's first tagline was, "You vote with your wallet every day." Seems like that tagline's more true than ever. Businesses know that our tagline is true. That's why earlier this year, when the U.S. Chamber of Commerce released a small business survey on equality, the results were, I would say, truly overwhelming. 75%, 75, that's 3 out of 4 small business owners said that they are good with losing customers as a result of supporting the LGBTQ community. And I do really want to give a shout out to PetSmart. There's a really bad dude that, was hunting gay people in June, and then he showed up at PetSmart in July, and it was a really uncomfortable 4.5 minutes for the associates, the assistant manager, and the general manager in PetSmart as they very kindly and respectfully asked this man who was bullying them to leave. As he said horrible, horrible things about LGBTQ people, but what is not lost on me is as the gentleman finally left, and I'll use gentleman loosely, he said, "You're really okay that PetSmart supports these gay people?" And the general manager said, No. I'm sorry, I just blew the joke. He said, "You're really okay that he called him Petco, that Petco supports gay people." And the general manager said, No, dude, we're PetSmart. Like, if you're gonna call us out, make sure you know who you're talking about. PetSmart, we're PetSmart. We have a sense of belonging. We support all people in PetSmart. No disrespect to Petco, of course. 81% of the small businesses surveyed said that it's vitally important to create advertising that is reflective. I should never go off script. I said, oh my gosh, I'm a mess today. You made me cry, Mayor Giles and Michael. I can't get my head around all this. Okay. 81% said it's vitally important to create advertising that is reflective of our diversity and promotes inclusivity. And check this out, more than 8 out of 10 small businesses owners, 86% say that it's important to provide an inclusive culture for customers and guests. 86%. 86%. And it's not just the business community. Poll after poll continually shows that 3 out of 4, 75% of Americans support non-discrimination protections for LGBTQ Americans. We also see support for LGBTQ rights growing in religious communities. And we have some good friends here, some new partners. I'd go so far as to say family. I hope I don't embarrass you all, but some good friends that we met when we were doing the great work in Mesa from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I want to thank you for your courage and your friendship. They didn't call us, Michael and I, out when we were in Utah. They let us be there more anonymously, so sorry, I think I'm going to pay for this later on. One of the most valuable lessons we learned from our work in Mesa is that LGBTQ rights and religious rights can coexist, and that we shouldn't forget that many LGBTQ people are people of deep faith, and many people of deep faith are LGBTQ. We can have ordinances and laws that protect us all, and that's the bridge that we're building together. And that's why we founded the Equality and Fairness for All Americans Coalition. With more than 20 coalition members across the nation, from Wyoming to West Virginia, North Carolina, Texas, Ohio, Pennsylvania, just to name a few. And the support of more than 250 businesses, faith-based organizations, and elected officials, we led more than 100 people representing 35 states in this great nation to 65 meetings on Capitol Hill in 3 short months this year. And that work was led by Michael, and again, I encourage you to thank him for leading us. And in our great state of Arizona, my dear friend, Representative Amish Shah, and Republican House Speaker Rusty Bowers came together to sponsor and introduce the Equality and Fairness for All Arizonans Act, to update our state's non-discrimination law to include LGBTQ Arizonans, and to ban conversion therapy. Yes, right? The legislation encapsulated the work that one community does. It was the result of running towards the difficult conversations, listening to one another, being comfortable being uncomfortable, and a willingness to build bridges across the divides with the common goal of creating a stronger Arizona where we all have opportunity. Our bipartisan bill received a historic 5.5-hour-long hearing. I will never forget that 5.5 hours. Ever. With testimony from leaders across Arizona, including so many leaders that are in this room today, educating the committee and our community about the importance and benefits of non-discrimination protections on our communities, culture, and economy. We had serious momentum this year, but our opposition had another thing coming. We were peppered with an onslaught of anti-LGBTQ legislation in Arizona and across the country. As if a record 17 anti-LGBTQ bills in Arizona and more than 300 anti-LGBTQ bills being introduced across our nation wasn't enough. In June, the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade. The court's decision had a devastating impact for women and birthing people across our nation, and it also served as a warning shot to the LGBTQ community about other landmark court decisions, including marriage equality. The ripple effect caused by the Supreme Court decision demanded urgent action and ultimately shifted our work to a responsive nature, to protect our families, our friends, our neighbors, to protect ourselves. And like so many times before, we knew we couldn't do it alone. We looked to all of you here today, and we turned to our community partners, our great friends at Local First Arizona, and our unity agent this year, Kimber Lanning. And together we launched Your Vote is Your Voice to engage and activate voters across Arizona. Because if you haven't noticed, elections have consequences. Together, we have successfully engaged thousands of voters across Arizona. And with marriage equality on the line, we have been working harder than ever before to ensure that bipartisan support exists to expect the Respect for Marriage Act. Because marriage truly is the bridge to equality. Listen, none of us know what's going to happen tomorrow or in a couple of weeks, which is why it's so important to protect marriage equality now. We must all work together to pass the Bipartisan Respect for Marriage Act before the end of the year. That's our window. We've got to do this by the end of the year. We have to do this in the lame duck session. We have to. I'm pleading with you. Do not stay on the sidelines. This moment is about more than marriage. This moment will pave the way for equality and fairness for all Americans by demonstrating bipartisan support for civil equality for LGBTQ Americans. But here's the thing, when we all get activated. By the way, I just want you to know, thank you. You all know how to use QR codes. Carrie and Brandon said, let your elected officials know that you support the Bipartisan Respect for Marriage Act, and more than 350 emails came to my phone in about 10 minutes. So give yourselves a round of applause. Here's what's so cool about the Respect for Marriage Act. Should we be successful? And we're gonna be successful, because my marriage, those 1,138 rights and protections that protect Sherry and my family, and Meredith and her wife's family, and so many of us in this room, we deserve to know that we can go to sleep at night knowing that our families are safe and secure. We deserve that. We are Americans, and we have to pass the Respect for Marriage Act. But here's what's really cool, because when we all get together and we do this, it'll literally be the first time a bipartisan piece of legislation makes it to a president's desk for signature. It'll be the first time in America's history. And so we mean it when we say that marriage really is the path forward. It is the bridge to equality and fairness for all Americans. So Sophie put this in my script because I don't know if she thought I was going to need a break or you were all going to need a break after we were this far into my speech. But my script says, let's everyone just take a deep breath. And let's just reflect for a moment. And I want you to please believe me when I say, I know we can do the hard things because we've already done so many hard things together. Please believe me when I say, I know our collective determination to treat all people fairly will build bridges to a better tomorrow for all Arizonans and for everyone in our great nation. And please know that we have faith in all of us in this room, and we believe that what we can accomplish together is limitless. We are forever grateful for your commitment, your work, your partnership, and for leading with your hearts. Thank you all for being here today. We truly are better together, and as we like to say, we are one community.